G'day guys, welcome to Rumble's Fish Room. So this is a crazy different style video for me. I thought about trying to just do a slideshow of photos and then record some audio, but I don't know how long I want to talk about each photo, and I honestly don't really have the editing skills for that, but I'm sure I can figure it out in the future. But wouldn't you rather me be in the shot and we can chat about it together? Alright, so today's video, I want to clear up some grey area about line breeding and why I'm line breeding my fish. My line, there's a few people calling the line medium to low quality at the moment, and I just want to rectify why I think that it is medium to high quality. It's not Camphor, it is ZZ, so I'm not trying to say that it's going to compete with my KZZ lines. And also I want to preface this video by saying 90% of my breeding is the KZZ. At the moment, this line that I'm about to show you, I only own like 10 fish from that line. I currently own over 2,000 KZZ, including all the fry. So it's like 10 fish versus 2,000. So I've got my priority set on KZZ, but I really want to see how far I can line breed this line, and I want to explain a few things in this video. It's kind of directed at a couple of people, and I know that they'll watch it, but I thought I would just show everyone, and especially people that aren't into flowerhorns or are just learning to breed. I think some of the points I show you in this video will help you understand how to figure out whether a flowerhorn is high quality or not. Alright, so I'm going to use pretty much purely males for this video, except for the female of the F1. This is a vampire cross female. Unfortunately, the person who bred these has blocked me on Facebook, so I can't get the full details about her history, but I do think I have a bit of the history, but we'll get into that in a minute. And there's Charles. He's the magma of the line. So when I call the line magma cross, that's referring to Charles cross this girl. Alright, so we're not going to really talk about this photo besides the fact that these are the two I bred. So I've dug up this photo here. This is F1 vampire cross King Pearl. King Pearl. So this was the only photo I could find that was a representation of a male version of that female I bred. That female I bred is F2, so this would be maybe like the granddad. So as you can see, like, this is in 2016 this photo was taken, so it's going back quite a bit, but you can see in this photo he's got sunken eyes, which is a great point to take out. Good red coverage. I'm not sure how this boy went as he got bigger. I could message the breeder of this one. His name is Brett, but I don't really like bothering him with flowerhorn questions anymore, just because he's not in the hobby anymore, and I feel like it might be a bit of a nuisance. But I do know that this boy is related to the girl that I just showed you. So just remember sunken eyes and red coverage for later in the video. So then we've obviously got Charles. He's got nice square gill plate. He's got reasonably full fins. Not as full as a Camphor, but remember we're breeding ZZ here, so that's kind of irrelevant. He's got sunken eyes. He's got trailing fins, which you can't actually see in this photo. He's got a full script. He has great pearl coverage. He has a good cock size. He has nice even jawline. The only two negatives I can pick about him is, or two negatives and one personal preference. The two negatives: he doesn't have full red coverage over his head. He doesn't have full pearling over his head. And my personal preference is, I'm not a huge fan of short body, so I'm not a fan of his body shape. So what's the next photo? Alright, so this guy here, I've kind of put the photos in the wrong order. We'll just go with it. So this guy here, this is an F2. This is owned by a guy named Pat. So he's got that short square body. If anything, I think his body shape is almost a bit better than Charles. He's got plenty of purling, full script. He's got nice big fins, like I mentioned. If anything, this is probably the closest fish that's been bred to Charles of the line. And the fact that this is F2 means that we were going in the right direction to breed back similar to Charles. But once again, the red coverage is nowhere near covering his head, and the pearls actually come up quite far, and they're very faint on his head, but they don't cover the head. So this is actually going back one step. This is an F1 boy, but this guy, he's not actually the dad of that fish I just showed you. But I just want to look at the full fins. Trailing fins are a ZZ trait. I know they're not designed for campfire, but in this case, I really like trailing fins on ZZ. He does like a little bit of the script, but he has really good pearls. He has reasonably even lips. He's not beaky, but his face definitely isn't as short as the previous fish that I showed you. His eyes are fairly sunken from memory. Obviously, this photo is a really poor angle to talk about that. His cock size, it's not huge, but you can tell by the shape of it that there is potential for it to get bigger. But there's one thing I want to comment about that. This guy didn't show cock potential until like over maybe 15 centimeters. So that is another trait that needs to be worked on in the line. Alright, so what are all those fish missing? They're missing head pearls and cock coverage and a red face. So now this guy is F1. He's actually a throwback from Vampire. So like the genetics of the mother are thrown back into the line through this guy here. Perfect example of a genetic throwback. He's almost identical to his granddad, I believe it was. But I'm spewing, I don't have the photo. I've tried to find it. I've got one photo, but I can't confirm it's the right fish. The red coverage is like 3/4 of the body, which is quite good for a male. Full script, but this guy lacks pearls. But in saying that, he lacks pearls, but he has pearls on 1/3 of his cock. So, but he has a tiny cock for his size. It is really small. So that is a trait that's missing. So this is an F3 girl. It's the only real F3 I've even thought about keeping or breeding at this stage. So she's got the nice full fins already. She's got quite a short face. This photo doesn't really show it, but I think this is actually the shortest face girl that I've bred personally, which is awesome. That's a move in the right direction. The top fin is like perfectly shaped in my opinion. There's a little bit of splitting, but just the actual shape of it's mint. Full scripting. It does lack red coverage. So now, what do we do in this situation? So this is F3. So we're at the 3rd generation. So now, So now I'm thinking maybe I cross her back with Richard, because he's got that red coverage she's missing. She's got that pearling that he's missing, and I can move forward with that. So I guess there's one more thing I want to talk about. So like this boy Charles has plenty of cock. Like I'm not a huge fan of the massive mushroom cock. If my line has this size cock, I'll be happy with that. So why line breed it if, say, like I don't really have a good picture of the F. I haven't got an F3 male big enough to show you guys. So the point, so like, say like Richard is a lower quality just because of his cock size. So the idea of line breeding is every time a fish has the traits you want to breed, you breed it back to another fish that has the traits that you want to breed. I forgot to mention this line has quite a square gill plate as well, which is another positive. So all of these traits, every fish is missing a trait, but the line, if you mesh all of the fish in that line, all the traits are there. The only one that is lacking is head pearls, which is the hardest trait to gain in flowerhorns. So by line breeding, I'm trying to merge all those traits into one. You think you get two pictures and merge them together on Photoshop or something? That's what I'm trying to do, but in real life. So a couple of people have said that the line is a dead end, and I really don't think so, because we'll use vampire as an example. So my friend Zach had a vampire boy named Globe, and he was actually a throwback. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Mabau or something. It's way before my time. A trait that was showing up in F3 showed up in F7. So how many? That's like 4 generations later. So the reason I'm still breeding this line is because if I can get all of those traits into one fish. There's one more trait that I didn't mention. I like the longer body shape of the vampire as well, which I could try and, so imagine like Charles with a full longer body, but then the head coverage of the vampire. That's basically what I'm trying to create. Sunken eyes, nice big trailing fins, big tail, not a paddle tail because that's more campfire, but if like this tail here, if I can get this tail here in like F4. So originally my plan was to breed F4 and figure out if I was missing some stuff and breed in a new line. But all this doubt in the line has actually made me decide to carry this line on without inbreeding any other fish, and I want to get it, I really want to try and get it to like F6, F7, just to see what happens. Like it's what Taiwanese do. It's really hard to find information on Thai breeders, but the information I have found, it all leads back to line breeding. I don't think, like, Thai breeders don't sell F1 fish as far as I know. So back to my original point, I've got this line, the Magma Cross line, crossed with Fat Boy, and I was growing them out, and I was going to breed that line to F2 and then cross it back into the Magma at F4, but I've changed my mind and I'm just going to straight breed the Magma Cross line. Once I get to F4, I'll probably rename the line. I don't know what yet, I can't decide. Obviously like rumbles, anything to do with rumble doesn't sound good for a line of flowerhorns. But so I'm going to push it and see how far I can take it. I'm probably not going to sell any at this stage anymore. So the F3 I've only kept like, I think I only have about 7 or 8 of them now. If you actually remember back in a video a little while ago, I was talking about culling all the red eyes and only keeping white eyes. So this negativity in my line has actually rekindled the line breeding of this line. So I was going to go completely KZZ, completely, and just finish this line. But I'm so determined now to make it something, because yeah, I think it can be. I've got some awesome people behind me that have had many more years experience than me. One thing also, I'm still learning. So one thing about breeding F4, F5, F6, I'll learn. And so the one thing is, when I bred the F1, I was new to flowerhorns. So I actually didn't really know how to select, and this is kind of something that I think is kind of fluked. But so this is the dad of the F2. He's F1, and he is probably the best looking fish I've seen from the F1. Him and Richard are the two best, and this fish I gave to my friend Zach as a select when I was learning, and Richard is the fish that I kept for myself. And I think to this day they are still the two best F1 that I've seen and sold. So I think I did pretty well from the start. In saying that, I really like this guy, and this guy's F1. So like, you see how different those three fish are? They're all F1. So like, can you see how many traits there are that I can try and breed into each other? I just feel like saying it in a video and actually showing the photos of the fish. There's a couple of people that might understand why I'm even bothering with the line. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I'm pretty passionate about this subject just because nobody's listening to me at the moment, and I know most of you in the comments will be pretty excited about it and have my back, but there is some people trying to make me feel shit at the moment, and I just wanted to explain what I see in the line. But I'm probably going to wrap it up there. Let me know what you think about this style of video. I could probably do another slideshow video on the history of... Oh, I've got to do one on the fish room build. I've got to do one on the koi pond build. So drop a comment if you like this style for the fish room and koi pond build, and I'll sort that out. But anyway guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe for more, hit that little red button. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.